Hello everyone. Today we are live with Badhri Seshadri. Hello sir, how are you doing
Hello.
today?
Hi. I'm good. How are you, Satvik?
I'm good. Thank you. Let
Lovely.
me start off with a quick introduction. Badhri Seshadri is an independent musician and a song composer. He is the founder of Motta Maadi Music. This is a first of a kind show that puts the audience in charge of the performance and has grown rapidly in the last 2 years with multiple sold out shows in both national and international stages. His shows have also been a platform for many up and coming independent artists to showcase their talents in a public platform. He was also a speaker at TEDxIIITBangalore Bangalore 2022. He has given a very interesting talk where he expresses his love for music. And he also describes his journey from an average school student to founding a musical show. So, sir, how was the entire experience of giving a TEDx talk? Right from coming
First,
up with right from coming up with the idea for a talk to finally delivering it on screen.
first of all, it's like a dream come true, probably for a kid who couldn't even be on stage at school, to be at one of the biggest stages that can ever be. It was really a pleasant experience, and throughout the process was very intriguing to be very honest. Because it's like it made me look back how from where I came, and what's the process that went behind to where I am right now. Probably on a normal day, I will never look back at it. And this process probably made me look back at it. So it's very interesting. I should be very thankful for that, probably. And it also made me realize what are things I promised in 2020, which I have not done yet. So probably 2022, I will probably work on it. So that was it was a lovely experience to probably express. Expression is the biggest thing one can do. So yeah, it was amazing.
Yes, sir. We are glad that you had a good time with the talk. All of us definitely enjoyed your talk. We would
Thank
love to see more of these in future.
Kandiva. Hopefully. Thank you.
Now, let us move on to the Q&A.
Yes.
Post your questions in the comment section. Questions could be regarding the art of music, his journey from engineering to the music industry, maybe even how he convinced his parents, challenges that he challenges that he faced along the way, how he runs his startup, or anything regarding his talk.
I'm ready.
Audience, just spam the comment section with questions. Okay, we have our first question. After getting started with Orukutti Kadai series, were you satisfied with the result of getting connected with the audience?
Oh, I didn't expect the first question to be from Varukutti Kadai. I'm really happy. It's always difficult, right? Because the cinema music is something that's very deep rooted inside one. So it's easy to connect. Whereas the independent music is pretty much not in the scene right now. So it's very difficult for me to get the attention of people when I'm doing independent music. So probably that was a challenge. But when it comes to like Varukutti Kadai, it has a very interesting thing to it. So because I write a story, and I write characters to it, and then I make music for it. So it's at the end of the day storytelling. So it was quite easy for me to probably link with them. I am the kind of person who actually doesn't care much about results. So probably I don't have an answer about the results of what I got or something. I just got another window of expression, another window of how I want to put my art towards the people. It's up to them how they want to take it, because their time is absolutely precious. So we cannot demand their time at the end of the day. We as an artist have one role to just express whatever we want to, and it's up to the people how they want to receive it and how they want to perceive it. So I think, according to me, if you ask me, yeah, I'm happy that it got released. I'm happy that I got an opportunity to probably express it. So I would say it was very satisfying, and it made me do another season of it. It made me do a lot of new songs. It gave me a lot of contact. So it's an absolutely a big deal for me. So Kutika is probably very close to my heart.
Yes, sir. We can confirm about the result. All of us who watched it, we definitely loved it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so now let's move on to the next. We have a next question. Were you able to express yourself to the audience through Orikutti Kadai series after releasing the series? Were the audience able to resonate with your thoughts?
Actually, it happened. Probably the first 2 or 3 tracks, it was very new for them, because in Kutti Kadai, the songs are not for a longer time. It's only 1.5 minutes. So the major reason why I did Kutti Kadai was because I wanted to break the format of why the song should be 4 minutes. At the end of the day, if you want to tell a story through a song, it can always be a 2 minute song. So for people to get to know that perspective was quite difficult. But since I was telling a story through that, people were able to link to it, and I was experimenting a lot of different genres in that particular while I was telling that particular story. So probably if someone likes folk, they will be relating to it very well, and they will be resonating their thoughts and what are the memories they want to link with them. So it's like, probably after a point of time, people started to give me stories. People asked me to read about a short story, and they wanted to make music for that particular short story. So I think I have reached the people really well with respect to Orikoti Kadai, because at the end of the day, it's an experiment. So you cannot expect a million people to see it. For me, the number of people who saw it actually liked it, and they started to give me more challenges, more stories. So I think they are on sync with what I wanted to produce as a music composer. So I was very happy with that. And with respect to my expression on it, it's always free. There was no struggle in expressing myself through music, and at the end of the day, everything was mine, right? So I don't have someone to convince. Probably I am the director, I am the story writer, so I am the music composer. At the end of the day, if I satisfy myself, the song is pretty good, according to me. So I think I have expressed well at what I wanted to express.
Yes, sir. It's interesting to know that when people submit stories and you're able to
Yeah.
express through it,
And
even
you
we would
you
love
also
to.
kind of, it kinds of humbles you in a way where always the creator or an art person has this feeling of know it all kind. And when people come and gives you such stories, it humbles you, it puts you on the ground, and it says to you that everybody knows everything, just shut up and do your work. So it's pretty much it's needed for every artist to be linked with the audience, to get their perspective and learn from their perspective. It's very, very important if you want to express yourself.
Yes, sir. Even we will be submitting our stories soon.
Please do.
Okay, so Bhavjot Singh asks, sir, which genre intrigues you the most?
Oh, I should say jazz. I'm a huge jazz addict. Probably for a person who was a non-musician 8 years back, this is a very strange answer. But jazz is something. It's as equivalent as like you are addicted to something. Jazz music is so deep, and it's so romantic. It's so expressive in a way where you cannot come out of it. So probably my in the Kutikade series itself, lots of my music has a huge influence of jazz in it, which I'm trying to overcome because I cannot be in that mousetrap anymore. But probably it intrigues me in a way where it is so much to learn, so much to express, and I probably think I know don't even know a drop of water in it. So it intrigues me in a way, and it also makes me fall in love again and again with that particular genre. So I think jazz is the answer. I think I learned it very late. The first jazz song I listened to was in 2015 or 16, I guess. Probably I started listening to BB King. I started listening to Louis Armstrong, Etta James. Probably that's where my jazz influence started. Most of the 1950s, 60s music, and yeah, I think from then there was no looking back. I'm just so intrigued about that.
Yes, sir. Jazz music is very relaxing now. Suppose we
Oh,
go to a
true.
restaurant for dinner and they play jazz in the background. It just makes the whole experience so much better.
True. But as a musician, when you see it, there is so much to learn. That's the beauty of it. My favorite composer in Tamil is Mr. Ilayaraja, and that's what I want to compare it with. Ilayaraja's music is so simple; it resonates with every people, every person in Tamil Nadu, every person in India probably. But when you go deep into it, you have so much to learn as a musician. I see jazz as something like that. You have so much to learn as a musician. That is like a deep knowledge in it.
Yes, sir. Okay, so we have a question from Vatsal Dama. A music career is a significantly underestimated career choice. Were your parents and relatives supporting in choosing this profession? Interesting question.
Probably the most wanted question, I guess. Initially, it was very difficult because I was doing my engineering, and what I did was that during my placements, I didn't tell my parents. I went to my placement cell and wrote a letter saying I don't want placements from this college because I want to go pursue audio engineering without asking my parents. Because at some point I thought that I should own all my decisions and not parents. Probably if I fail in 5 or 6 years, I shouldn't come back to my parents and say, if you have advised me better, I would have been an engineer. I didn't want to do that. So probably from that moment, I think my parents were super supportive. Like probably they had their own social fears, they had their own financial fears to it, but they were morally always with me. They emotionally, they were always with me. So probably that's that. At the end of the day, when you are an artist, what's more important is when you come back home, you should have peace. Otherwise, you can never be creative. So I got that peace from my parents. Relatives, I didn't care much. The one very big rule that you want to understand is, like, your family circle is actually really small. For the people, number of people you need to really convince is really small. The people who really paid your fees, gave you food, gave a home to sleep, are the only people who you need to convince. The rest of them need to know your opinion and not your decisions, or they shouldn't be influencing your decision. So I really didn't care about them. Probably I was jobless for 2 years. From 2016 to 18, I didn't have any job to do. I was going through a very tough time. And all the 2 years, my parents didn't even ask me even a question about what's about my earning, or they were continuously supportive. I have a home studio. I'm always in my home studio. They not even came and asked me what do I produce, what I'm doing. So it's like, it's very important at the end of the day, when you're going through a process, you need to come back home, and you need that peace to probably wake up fresher the next day. So I think it was amazing. I wish in 2025 or 2030, nobody will call music as an underestimated career choice. Slowly, everything is changing right now. So I hope that changes, because very honestly, it's a very one in a million gets a job kind of a career choice. So I can understand the perspective, but probably more windows should open, and probably music shouldn't be seen. Even now, if I say, what if someone asks me, what do you do? I'm saying, I will say that I'm a music composer. Oh, that's okay. What do you do for a living? They always see that as a hobby and not a job. So I hope someday it changes to it to an extent where people agree this as a job and not just an extracurricular activity.
Yes, sir. I'm sure supportive parents is very much needed when you're pursuing any unconventional career option. And I think
Absolutely,
this is
absolutely,
stopping many people from pursuing what they're really interested in, and they end up in the conventional
absolutely.
professions like engineer
I
or
mean,
doctor.
I would say it's absolutely a personal opinion, because we cannot judge how the parenting thing for each. I was lucky that I got a very supportive parent, so I don't want to give a normal statement that this is how the norm is. So yeah.
Yes, sir. Okay. Saket Gajawada asks, describe your favorite part of being a musician.
Very interesting question. Probably I would say me being expressive and me being free are the two my most favorite parts of being a musician. Like, more than the technicalities of it, or more than how I want to produce it, how famous I am, I don't care about all that. Being a musician, I can breathe freely. I actually control my breathing. I actually control what I want to do the next day. I kind of decide what way things should go, and I express it very very happily, and that's my favorite part of being a musician.
Okay, that's wonderful, sir. Okay, Neha asks, what challenges did you face initially?
Initially, probably when I started, nobody came to Motta Maadi, because when a random guy in Facebook invites you to their home and asks you to sing something, like ask you to sing along. It's a very strange space to be in. I was lucky that slowly people started to come in. So one of the biggest challenges was that, and probably later stages. So when it was happening in Motta Maadi, there was no concept called stage. So there is no divide as a musician and non-musician. We are all same. We are all in the same plane, and there is just sky above you. And when we went inside an auditorium, I went inside an auditorium with an idea of breaking the ideology of audience can only be audience in the auditorium. I just wanted to break it. They can also be performers, but there is a stage in the auditorium. So that creates a visual divide between them, and that was a huge challenge to break. So probably we kept it very simple along the way. We kept it the Motta Maadi way. Even when they come and we even now in the shows, it's very hard. They direct the show in the audience, direct the show in the way they want to, and we just trigger and kind of run through everything with their consent probably. So that was the only way we could break the challenge of not be taking them out of their shell. So that is one of the biggest challenges I faced probably a year 2 years back when I moved to auditoriums.
Yes, sir. For any artist, initially getting viewership is a major challenge,
True, true,
and
true, true.
with the Motta Maadi music, it's actually helping young new entrants to the industry showcase their talents and to
Yeah,
overcome this particular challenge
I
of
would
getting
probably say
viewership.
I haven't achieved it entirely now, but probably I have plans for this year which might give more limelight on the independent musicians. And I hope, let's see, God willing.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Chaitanya Manas asked, well, I'd love to know that how did you convince your parents to allow you to switch from engineering to the music stream?
I took the decision before the convincing part, I guess. So I left them with no choice. But on a serious note, I showed real good interest in it, and I showed the outputs. Like you cannot go and tell your parents that this is what I like, and it cannot be just words. They need to see it in action for them to invest in you and in your idea. So probably I worked hard on that part. I really showed them how much I liked the concept of sound engineering and everything, and it was quite easy from then. It also has a very interesting backstory. My father actually wanted to become a film editor, but due to their financial conditions and poverty, he couldn't become a film editor, and he ended up becoming a mechanical engineer. So probably he thought I'm living his dream. So probably he let me very easily to go into this industry and live my dream. So yeah, that's how it. I actually, the only problem my mom had, like the first time I went to my mom and told them, okay, this is, I want to do audio engineering, and this is the field I want to work in. And her immediate reply was, who will marry you? So so it was difficult from the social front of it. How will people, what will people think, what will the society think, how will you earn, for how long time? All these questions were there, but it's your responsibility. If you want something, you need to face these hurdles and convince your parents, which is very important. So yeah, I did that.
It must have been hard to convince, but
Yeah,
yes,
finally it happened, but they were very
yes,
supportive at that already, so that's what more important.
yes, sir. Okay, so here we have a next question from Vaibhav. Hello, sir. What is your favorite music genre and how did your taste develop over time? I think you
Okay, like I
answered a similar
answered, my
question before.
favorite music genre is jazz, of course. I also like
Yeah.
probably folk, Tamil folk. I love the art form of Tamil folk because it explains the landscape really well. Like how blues in the West explains the taste of like the art of mourning. Tamil folk always explains what's the landscape like. What do we do in this landscape? What are the people like? And for an art to be very successful, you need to know the people, you need to know the land, you need to know the language. And Tamil folk exactly does that. It helps us learn the humanity of people, and it becomes a passage to go talk with an unknown person very comfortably. So probably Tamil folk is also and my taste developed because I grew up with music, completely with music. When I tell you, like I listen to music for 10 hours, I'm not exaggerating. My house is surrounded with film music. My mom is a huge fan of MS Vishwanathan and Ilayaraja. My dad is a huge fan of. My dad is an inspiration because he adapted according to time. He was an MSV fan, then Ilayaraja term, then AR Rahman fan. I don't see a lot of my father generation people who really likes AR Rahman, but he was the kind of person who kept on updates. He still explains me how he felt when Roja released first, how he felt that tape recorder was sounding, and I grew up with music. And when I got into the industry, it was a necessity that I need to listen to a lot of different kinds of music, and I dedicated time to listen to a lot of different kinds of music. For someone to become very successful in the music scene, they need to know a lot of music. They need to know a lot of things that is happening around music. What's the kind of music that's trending right now? What's the kind of music that people listen to a lot? What's the yesteryear generation's music? How it has adapted itself to what it is right now? What's the technology going behind? You need to know everything that for you to survive in this industry. So probably you got I was very interested in it at the end of the day. If you ask me about anything in engineering, probably I wouldn't be this interested to answer it. But this is my love for it, the sound of it, and each country represents a sound. Each district represents a sound. I was very intrigued to learn about all it, and that's how my taste developed over time.
Yes, sir. I think in Tamil Nadu, the music culture is very rich and healthy. We see a lot of
True,
young musicians coming from,
true, true,
mostly
true,
from
true.
this particular state.
True. Because it's at the end of the day, it's I feel that we grew up with music a lot, and that
Yes,
influences
sir.
a lot of us to become like probably music writers.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Okay, so we have a new question from Karanveer Singh. I love metal music and I dream of being in a band and perform in front of crowds. So my question for you is, what would be the best or fun part of being in a band for you?
First of all, amazing choice. Metal music is kick-ass. So I would, and you probably the fun part is the vibe of it. I would say, of like 400, 500 people jumping along with you, listening to what you actually want them to listen, and in my case, performing along with me throughout for a 2 hour show. Probably people can sing a song or two, but in my shows it's 2 hours of all 500 people performing together, all 500 people jumping and dancing together. So for me it's the vibe of it, and the one positive thought we all live in during the 2 hour show. Probably before 2 hours I don't know what they were going through, and after 2 hours I'm not going to know who they are, but in that particular 2 hours we all live in the same wavelength, and that vibe is something really 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 fun. And I hope, Karanveer, to see you performing somewhere, and I hope I will be in that crowd cheering for you someday. I would love to listen to your music someday, someday. Please, 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 do music, and probably I'll be in the crowd. I'll be the first person to cheer for you.
Yes, sir. Musical concerts have a totally different vibe and
Yeah,
they just light up your mood.
yeah,
One thing
true,
I
very
miss
true.
about the pre-COVID times is attending a physical musical concert. Haven't been able to do that since long.
Okay, I was lucky enough. I did probably 7 or 8 shows after 2020. We did 50%, we did 100%. We travel international. We did everything under safe circumstances. So it will happen. Like if the corporate sector can survive COVID, the music sector can also survive COVID. There are different rules for different people. We need to follow that needs to follow, but that will not stop music or the performance scene. It's about time that everything restarts for everyone and not just for one set of people.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so now there's a new question from Srinivasan. Are you planning to explore and get into different genres of music like rock or hip hop?
I would love to. I'm learning. For example, I suck at EDM. Producing EDM is one of the most difficult things. People think that it is just beats. What is more difficult to produce about it? But only when you sit on it, you will really know how difficult it is to produce a EDM track, probably a hip hop track. I would love to do a I have already done rap tracks in Kutti Kadai, but on a larger scale I want to do rap tracks. I probably want to explore more of the genres, but first I'm listening to it right now. I'm learning how to do that in the right way. I think that is very important. And when it comes to, so my dream is to become a film composer at the end of the day. So it's like that is when it comes to film music grammar, you cannot stick to one particular genre. So I need to know the how to adapt different ideas at one go in 4 minutes. So it also, so my kind of learning differs on that way, but I would love to explore more. For me, probably it's not about me producing that music. For me, exploring us, like me listening to those music is just like amazing. Like I'm exploring that kind of music. Probably in 2020 I started to explore the music of Middle East, Persian. I fell in love with the poetry of Rumi. I fell in love with the music of Mehdi Aminian. I started listening to a lot of that music. So exploration is also from listening. So probably my exploration goes along that way also. So it also kind of inspires you when you sit on the keyboard. It's not the same music I'm going to produce at the end of the day. So my kind of exploration is that. So I would love to listen to all kinds of music. I have no barrier when it comes to listening to music.
We are eager to listen to you produce EDMs.
I hope. It is very difficult, I tell you. I suck at it.
Yes, sir.
Even now I suck at it. I need to get better at it. I am learning.
Whenever it comes out, we'll be the first people to watch it, sir.
Oh, lovely. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so there we have a new question. As the Motta Maadi music shows are held at various locations and the main point of focus is the participation of the audience, what goes behind curating a playlist for a show?
Very interesting question, actually. How I see it is, probably I was performing only in Chennai. So Chennai has a different mood for music, a different taste for music when it comes to Coimbatore or Bangalore. So how I used to see it is like I split the energy of the people, and how they, what kind of music has reached them. So probably I will go to a friend in Coimbatore and ask me, tell me five of your favorite songs. And I won't take the exact five favorite songs, but what I will do is what kind of music they listen to. I get an idea of what kind of music, and the playlist according is it's still Tamil film music. Their love for Raja and Rahman is the key for my show. But what kind of music and what's the energy each people carry, and for example, and the time factor. For in Chennai, it was happening for 1.5 years. And suddenly I went to Coimbatore, and that was the first show for Coimbatore people. So how they perceive the idea is very difficult. When I came to Bangalore, and it was people who were earning for this particular language. They haven't been to a Tamil concert for a long time, so their emotion towards the show was very different. And when I went to Dubai, it was, they treated us like, oh, a band from India has come, and it represents my language. So there the emotion was very different. So when you look at it, it's more personal. When you curate a playlist, it's more personal on how you want it, how you want them to enjoy it, what will be the most interesting song for them to perform, what would have created a bigger memory for them in their mind. And it differs from place to place and location to location. And it's an interesting process. Probably I play a lot of mind fights when I create a, a playlist, because it shouldn't be repetitive, and it reaches a lot of different people. I should cater different age groups, and it shouldn't have anything complicated or it controversial. So probably I need to put all this in mind while curate the playlist for the show.
Yes, adapting and improvising according to the profile of the audience is very
Absolutely.
important for
And
the show to
from
be
what's the
successful.
landscape, and what's the landscape they are coming from. That's very, very important.
You need to know their liking for music so that they enjoy the
Absolutely.
concert to the fullest.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, we have a new question from Vaibhav. Sir, aside from music, what are the other activities for time?
Uh okay. I write a lot. I read a lot. And these two are my biggest to go things to do. And I play a lot. I play like little of football and badminton here and there. But my major activity, I would say, is reading and writing. I write a little poetry, which I'm not going to show it to anyone until I see. I think I'm fit enough to put it out. I read a lot. I read a lot of books. My free time entirely goes to reading books. So that's my go-to activities.
That's very interesting, sir. Uh, Okay, Pandey Shaurya asks, how do you see music as a career in future in India?
I think it's bigger and brighter than how it used to be. Probably, if I can say, in 1990, you got to go through a process of becoming a music director. Now there are no particular process to go through. Like if you have talent, there are multiple platforms for that, for you to put in it and to release your music to probably. So in that case, it is really really rich. But it's not a stable job, right? At the end of the day, it has a lot of factors influencing it, like probably your consistency level, probably your grit and determination and your patience, and very importantly luck. All these needs to collide at one point for you to get that wherever you want to. But I see this as two different things. You do music, music gives a career option for you, so never leave this portion of it. Always do music. Career at the end of the day, based on if you have time, if you have the financial resources to do it, if you have the patience to be there, and if you have the grit and determination, you have an amazing opportunity ahead in you, because there is no hierarchy here anymore. There is no concept of this is how you need to do. I don't need to be an assistant music director for like 10 years for me to get into the scene. There is no such case here. The short films industry, the film industry, the OTT, everything is open now. So you can produce your own music in Spotify. For example, my brother who's 10 who's studying his 10th standard, has a friend who's producing rap tracks right now in Spotify. So that the window is open, like clearly open. So probably it's I would say, if you have the time, patience, and probably luck is not in our hand. If that is there, you have an amazing career in music. But again, as I said, just because of these reasons, don't stop making music. Making music is something very peaceful, so never stop that. Career option is something you need to think in a business point of view, so you will get the knowledge to do it when you get experience on it. So don't confuse these both. If you don't have a career option in your future, it doesn't mean that you cannot make music. You can still make music.
Very true, sir. In the present day, there are a lot of different genres of music also opening up. There are different
True.
kinds of platforms opening up. So
True.
opportunity is definitely increasing.
Exactly. And when it comes to Bangalore, very particularly, there are a lot of open mics that are happening. So, open mics are a brilliant place to put out your music, and probably organic crowd will know who you are. Then they will start to listen to you on Instagram. Then they will start to listen to you on Spotify, and that's how you grow. So, there are a lot of opportunities. It's like how many times you're going to knock, how many different doors. It's all about that math. If you have the patience for it, you will get it. There is no doubt about it.
Yes, sir. Open mics are amazing. Even I have attended a few of them in Bangalore
Oh,
myself.
lovely, 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 lovely.
Okay, so we have a question from Arin. At present, how competitive is the music industry? Is it easy for new entrants?
I don't know. I'm a new entrant, so so I really don't know. At the end of the day, it's very competitive again, because there is no stability in it, and there is no guarantee in it. So it's always going to be competitive. It's not like you finish a course and you will obviously, there are places where like companies will come get you placed and all that. I mean, it still needs talent, but there is an assurity to it. In this case, there is no assurity. You need to find the door and you need to go through it. So that's why it's very competitive. And probably I would say out of 10 it's 8.5. The competitiveness of it, it's really difficult. I'm a new entrant, I'm finding it difficult. Probably you can take it as my opinion and not my advice.
Yes, sir. As you said some time ago, it's like one in a million
Yeah,
who become
it's in,
successful.
exactly. It's about how we keep the success level. What success for you can never be the success for me, and what success for me can never be a success for you. So where you keep the threshold is up to you. And if you think you have found it, great. That's all.
Yes, sir. Okay, we have a question from Oishi. Hello, sir. Is there any song that describes how you see life? Can you share it with us?
Oh, lovely. My favorite writer in Tamil is Mr. Na Muthukumar. He's not there anymore. He's a brilliant Tamil songwriter. Um, he wrote this song called Oru Nalil from the movie Pudupeta. If someone can help them post in the chat, that will get. It's Oru Nalil, Orunalil. from the movie Pudupettai, and it actually talks about struggles and probably how you need to overcome it, what are the hurdles you need to face, and all that in one little song. uh, Probably I would say immediately, if I think of it, yeah, that's the song that I go to when I go through something. And a lot of Tamil songs from the exterior has a lot of very meaningful lyrics by a writer called Kannadasan, who writes a lot of song for Mr. M.S. Vishwanathan, and he has given a lot of philosophies through his songs. So uh, probably these two writers, but very particularly Oru Naalil from Pudupeta is very, it's an amazing song.
Oh, that's nice, sir.
Yeah.
We'll definitely listen to it after the
Please,
Q&A
please do.
session.
It's an amazing song.
Yes, sir. Uh, We have a question from Yugan. Your
Okay.
favorite Pink Floyd album?
Uh, I haven't listened to it as an album. So when it comes to English music, I listen to it in like random places. And one unfortunate thing is I'm very bad at English, so I cannot remember names. I grew up in Srirangam, and I grew up with a lot of my mother tongue, so it was very difficult for me to talk in English. So it's always difficult for me. So I have listened to Pink Floyd, but to be honest, I haven't listened to a lot of Pink Floyd. I have listened to it here and there, and they're amazing. I The first time I still remember this. The first time I listened to Pink Floyd was it like 12:30 or 1 in the night, and the song made me feel like I was flying through galaxies or something. It was tripping inside my mind, and I can understand that feeling of it. I don't even know the name of the song. I can still listen to the music because it was constantly tripping in my mind. I felt like I was flying somewhere. So I'm really sorry that I couldn't answer your question. I think you please bear with my English knowledge.
Yes, sir. English music definitely keeps you awake in the night.
True. And that was the first time I felt something like that. Because I'm a teetotaler, so there is no other way I can go to that zone ever. So only music can get me to that zone.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a question from Rachna. How has fame hit you? How did you feel when you meet your fan for the first time randomly somewhere in the market or mall?
uh, Probably I'm splitting this into two portions. Okay, one is before pandemic, and other is after pandemic. So before pandemic, it gives you this feeling of goosebumps. Probably when you meet them, it's like they are always very kind towards you, and kindness is something you all there is no end card for kindness. You always gonna get it. So that's an amazing feeling. So it has happened. They'll quickly ask for a photograph or something. So it's always an amazing thing. Post pandemic, probably my mental health went on a downhill. So I started to kind of get away from what fame gives me, so that I can see myself. And I wanted to be very grounded. I wanted to be very subtle at the things I want to deliver. I cannot keep on giving the same thing again and again just because they like me. So it was like I went through a process of just letting go of a lot of things to learn who I am, and probably to make better music. So fame is a double-edged sword. So until you get it, you will like literally crave for it. When you get it, you just run away from it. So that's how it always works.
Yes, sir. At the end of the day, you should be doing what you really like and
Absolutely.
not what,
But
not
the
what.
second sorry, I'm really sorry. The second part of the question is it's absolutely an amazing feeling when that happens. So when people find you through your art, and they come with absolute kindness, what else you need? So it's an amazing feeling when someone relatively finds me, and then meets me and talks with me. But fame is something that's very different.
Yes, sir. Connecting with an audience must feel really great.
Amazing feeling.
Okay, so now we have the last question for today from
Okay.
Vatsal Dama. Are there any
Okay.
stage rituals that you follow before the show?
So that is his favorite song of mine from the music composer Mr. Ilayaraja, who is my god of music. He does this song called Janni Janani from the movie Thai Mukhambigai, and we as a team sing that song together, just a few portions of that song. As a team, we all stand together in the green room, sing that song, and then we go onto the stage. That's the one ritual we always follow before we go to any show.
Okay, that's very nice. Okay, so now I would like to ask one personal question from my side.
Yeah,
It is,
yeah.
how do you overcome stage fear?
From the starting itself, I was not like a very stage fear kind of a person. I have my advantage. So probably till my 12th standard, I thought my voice is very bad, and I realized that this depth of the voice is something I can push to reach some more people. And when that happened, I kind of that my stage fear started to come down. And when for the first time when I went on the stage, whenever I got a stage, it's like there is nothing else to for you to do anymore. You just go do whatever you know. It's like going into the examination, and you cannot feel what you can do more now. So that's the mind state every time that I go to the stage. So probably I think I kind of manage that well. And also when you are really connecting with people and you're not talking like something that they cannot understand, that's when stage fear comes in. So in my shows, it's always reactive. So for me, it's like a conversation for me. It's not like me telling something and they're always listening. It's always a conversation for me. What song do you want? What did you like? It's always conversational. So when that is like that, you're talking to a friend at the end of the day. So that is no concept of stage fear, but that is always stage consciousness. That is entirely different. Stage conscious now, especially any artist should be very very stage conscious, because we are going through a period of time where we are learning a lot. So you cannot blindly tell a statement without knowing the consequence of it, especially as an artist. So there is always stage consciousness, but there is no stage fear for me.
Yes, sir. This was very relatable as I'm hosting
Yeah.
this Q&A session.
Okay.
Okay, so that brings us to the end of our event. With the number of cases reducing and the pandemic situation returning to normalcy, we hope to see a lot more of the offline concerts. Thank you, audience, for.
I'll be coming to Bangalore very soon. So if you guys are up for it, please come to the show.
We'll definitely come to your show, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you, audience, for a wonderful set of questions, and thank you, sir, for the insightful answers. I'm sure they'll help a lot of young music enthusiasts out there.
I
We are
hope.
going
I
to
hope.
have Yes, sir. We are going to have a lot more of these Q&A sessions in the near future. So stay tuned and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't yet, and check out our social media handles. Goodbye. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Ta-da. Bye.
Bye bye.